Hey everyone, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. So this afternoon, we're going to be talking about probably one of the most highly anticipated drones, the DJI Mavic 3, which has been rumored for literally years. Today, myself and Ken Heron, we're going to be looking through some of the new leaked specifications and really just having a chat about it and seeing what we think, whether it would, if it does come around with that specification, would that get us to buy it, etc., and whether we think we'll see it this year or not in 2021. We're also going to be looking at some of the renderings as well to analyze those, which is going to be an awful lot of fun. So let's bring the man himself in. Mr. Ken Heron, how are you, sir?
Oh, applause for me? Oh, stop. Just stop it.
Okay, we'll stop it.
Oh, no, don't stop. So are we here to talk about the not Phantom 5?
We are here to talk about the not Phantom 5. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately this time, and in fact, that's a really good timing straight away for our first slide, which is the facts behind today's video, and it is important to state the facts behind what's happening with the DJI Mavic 3.
Hit me with the facts and then I'll give you my speculation.
Okay, beautiful. So unlike when we had the Phantom 5 speculation, OM5 speculation fun video, there has been no DJI announcement, no official announcement on this whatsoever. There's no teaser trailer, there's no date. We don't even have an FCC filing yet. So, you know, without that equipment authorization approval, you're not going to see this drone launched on the market. There are people watching the database meticulously and bringing up any kind of releases and launches that happen. So, you know, unless we start to see things like FCC filings and that kind of thing, this is just a rumor video. This is a speculation video, although it's based on some decent sources of a news publication that I personally trust. So that does help from that point of view. We do have some rendered pictures from a trusted source as well. It'll be important to know that the rendered pictures you see are essentially versions of someone has taken what has been rumored to be the specs and they've built a drone from that. So that we're not saying that this is what the drone is going to actually look like, etc. It is a rendering of it. There's another one which is slightly different, which I'll explain as we go on later. But I thought it's important straight out the door that we just say, you know, what the facts are behind today's video, frankly.
Okay.
It's
well,
important.
let's throw up a picture. Let's see a thing.
Let's see this thing. Okay, where are we?
Okay.
So here is the initial renderings. Now again, this is the renderings that have come out from the chap who has made these literally just to show an example of what it could look like.
So this isn't what it definitely looks like.
100% not, especially when you look at this photo. Look how small this front arm is.
Yeah, well, I'm mostly looking at the camera configuration.
Yes.
Are they planning on having that kind of thing? Is Hasselblad going to do that?
Yeah.
They
are. They allegedly are, because we have these other renderings. Now, this is taken, these weird sort of, this is kind of like one of those effects that you can do to your photos in Photoshop and that type of thing. You can click, you know, line drawing and it turns it into an obscure. This is allegedly taken from the drone itself and then turned into these renderings. So this is a little bit more accurate about how the drone is apparently going to be looking. And there again, you can see there's the dual lens with the 7x zoom at the top there, etc., which will come onto those specific specifications in a moment. But this is from Drone Modelismo, a Brazilian YouTube channel who again has had it right in the past, and certainly a lot of the detail that they're putting forward seems to stack up. And as I say, they're a fairly trusted source as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So what are the two different cameras going to be? That's what I want to know, and why?
Well, yes.
Why?
Yes, indeed. Let me find the right one. So yes, it's going to be a dual lens setup. Your top lens apparently is going to be a 7x optical zoom, and the main lens, it's marked as f2.8 equivalent 24 with the letter H denoting Hasselblad Tech. Although DroneXL, who you can see the logo, there's a link to their article in the description below. They are expecting it to have an f2.8 to f11 aperture, so an adjustable aperture rather than a fixed one. So that's fairly, I think that's fairly impressive spec if that does happen from the camera.
Yeah, I always, what was the duo, with the other one that had the two cameras on the Mavic?
Yes.
It seems to me that trying to put two cameras on there, you're only getting half the quality. I mean, what it could have been, you know, because the image is all about the sensor and the lens.
Yes, absolutely.
And so if you just go all out, save the weight, make one camera with maybe a detachable lens, is it possible to have such a small thing on a Mavic platform? I know that That's what people are looking for on the Phantom size, because the Phantom could conceivably hold some kind of 40 millimeter mini lens like
100%.
that and have it detachable. I mean, that would be,
Yep.
that would be a greater, these incremental improvements. I'm not poo-pooing it. And I love the way DJI is continually coming out with stuff, but holy moly, seems like, you know, we get a new phone. We get a new phone. I have the Pixel 5. Pixel 5 is awesome. The Pixel 5 phone will be awesome for 5 years or more. But every year they come out with a new thing, and then every year people are like, I gotta have the Pixel 6 now because it's got two diddly futzes more than the other one. And
yeah. Well, in actual fact, we've got the iPhone 13 being released today. There's a live stream in about an hour's time, actually, from Apple. But the iPhone 14 is already being leaked this week for next year. So it is this perpetual thing. And DJI seem to have got onto the Apple iteration side of things rather than necessarily innovating their way through. But I suppose they don't have to as well.
Right. So what are the non-incremental improvements of the Mavic 3? What would possibly be the thing that would make someone with an Air 2S say, you know what, Air 2S is an antique, I need this Mavic 3? What are those things? The flight time, what is it?
Perhaps the fact there's going to be two versions, one top spec one which will have a 1 terabyte SSD, which of course is going to be extremely fast, and it will be able to record in ProRes video. There'll also be a second version, which will obviously be a lighter version from the point of view of tech, without the SSD, etc. So I expect there to be one quite expensive version, which is certainly going to be enterprise level, I would say, with ProRes video recording and a terabyte SSD on board. I mean, I'm surprised to see that personally. I'm surprised to see them go in a direction of an SSD, and it's one of the things that I'm more skeptical about. Of course, Hubsan, their recent drone release, that had an SSD on board rather than an SD slot. So it's going to be an interesting one.
So ProRes, ProRes is who in the chat uses that? I mean, this would be prosumer level, even with that, just like the Inspire 2. You know,
it's interesting that the amount of chatter there is behind the scenes of people saying, you know, will the Mavic 3 mean we don't need an Inspire 3? And perhaps, you know, again, it's pure speculation, perhaps because of the fact that it's going to have spec like the onboard SSD and the ProRes, which, as you say, we're much more used to seeing with the Inspire 2 in terms of the ProRes capabilities. Perhaps that does mean we're going to see something that won't need an Inspire 3 in the short term. Certainly, if you could get that quality of footage from a small foldable drone, then you know that's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
But I think it will be. I personally think if you do have 2 versions, I think that top version with the ProRes video is going to be expensive. I mean, who knows price wise, but you know, will it be much under $3,000? For something that has a 1 terabyte SSD and ProRes abilities? I'm not sure. In terms of flight time, which you were asking about, a single battery flight time is rumored to be 45 minutes, which is chunky. That's chunky, isn't it?
Yeah, but whenever they estimate the flight time, it's always hovering in one place, not doing maneuvers.
Yeah,
not using it like someone would use it.
Yeah, especially we're looking at you, DJ FPV drone, when we say that as well, of course, because it's that was probably their biggest gap of real world usability, frankly. There's also another interesting rumor from the DroneXL article, which actually talks about the remote controller, the RC. It's expected to still be the chunkier controller we see with the Air 2S, but a different version of it with a screen in there. Which again, I think that's interesting. I wonder what the screen will do, whether it will actually have the video on there. I mean, essentially that would mean it's coming with almost like a smart controller light.
Yeah. And let me guess, it won't be backwards compatible with anything else.
Of course.
Right? They won't let you use it with the old big huge goggles. Can't use it with that. That's the thing I hate about all these upgrades, because it's like, wow, what a great new drone. You won't be able to use it. DJI should, the V2 goggles, the V1s, it should all work, all be backwards compatible. But no,
100%.
And why don't they do that? It's not because they can't do that. They do it because of, where's my sound effect? Because they want to sell more stuff. And of course, can't fault them for that, but it's kind of douchey that they make us do all these workarounds and everything to get stuff to work. So
no, indeed, I completely agree with that. Obviously, the hardware is going to include OcuSync 3.0 or OS 303 or whatever they decide to call it next. So it will obviously have decent range. It will have decent penetration. We like a bit of penetration.
What size will it be the sensor, you think?
I don't know, and that hasn't been discussed. One of the things I'm always whenever you talk about rumors, and especially rumors that are based off of pictures, I'm always a little bit sensitive in terms of talking about actual spec. The only reason I'm happier to do that today is because we're seeing the article from DroneXL, who is quoting a Chinese source that actually talking about, yes, these renderings are actually not completely accurate, but close to what it will be. So at least we can gain things off there, like the f-stop 2.8 equivalent 24 and the 7x optical zoom lens at the top there. But as far as going deeper than that, image sensor wise, etc., it isn't really something that I can personally quote on. What would you want to see in it?
Oh, I would in the Mavic 3?
Yeah, sensor wise.
Oh, well, at least a full inch sensor, full size.
Full inch, baby.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the more inches, the better.
Okay, but, it is expected to be larger than the Mavic 2 Pro, but just a very quick shout out for my UK and EU viewers, and I've seen this come up in the chat today in the live show already, that yes, if this was to come out this year in 2021, it certainly wouldn't have a C label, so I'm not sure how popular it would be over here from that point of view. I would hope it would be a C2 drone once C labels are available for it, but that leads us nicely on to the discussion about when we think it's going to happen, of course.
Well, let me ask you this. What about a mechanical shutter on that?
Yeah, again, no idea. But I don't see it from the point of view that camera looks much more like the kind of smartphone techie type camera, and the type of thing that we saw on the Parrot and AFI USA, more than necessarily something that's going down the manual route, in my opinion. But that is my opinion.
You were talking about not having the need for an Inspire 3 if you can get the camera to be good enough on these smaller drones. I will disagree with that, only because the dynamic range of an X7S or greater that you can put on a Inspire is always going to beat out the smaller.
Yeah, I can see that. 100% see that. Yeah, that makes complete and utter sense. As far as leaks are concerned, and as far as DJI, obviously they like us talking about their products. I think that goes without a question, really. Any manufacturer, as long as you're not bad mouthing their product, and even then they're more than happy to get the airtime, etc. And it's a clever little machine, because it's interesting when we start to see these accidental unboxings and things like that of a guy walking into Best Buy. Oh, there happens to be a DJI Mini 3 here, and I happen to buy it, and now I'm unboxing it on YouTube. And the fact that that's happened, and that's been the pattern all the way through, even for the OM5 there was, or OM5 as they seem to now be calling it. It's interesting, the leak culture behind DJI as well now, isn't it? It's very accurate.
It's marketing on DJI's part. Of course we're falling into it right now, but it's fun to talk about it anyway. Speaking of which, let me ask people in the 100%. Chat, will you buy one of these? And I know it depends on the price, but Sean, will you buy one?
Yes, I think I will. On those kind of specs, I will, especially, or I might wait for a C label version here for the UK, but yes, I think I would buy it. If you would buy it, press 1. If you wouldn't buy it, press 2. Based on this, getting some no's already there and some yeses. Depends on price. Yeah,
I'll give you behind the scenes of what some YouTubers, including myself, do in the community. I will get one. I will buy one, just like I bought the Air 2S. I'll make a video about it, then I'll return it. I mean, because I mean, honestly, that's what. Now I will tell you, that's what I did with the Mini 2. I said to myself, I'm going to buy the Mini 2. I'm going to do a review on it. Then I'm going to send it back to Amazon. I got it. It was awesome, and I kept it.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping with the Mavic 3. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
You know, I hope to want to keep it, but you know.
What do you think in terms of name? Because obviously we've seen the Mavic name being dropped for the Mini 2, and we've seen the Osmo Mobile becoming the
the names just suck. What can we have? What is it, the DJI Mini 1, right?
Yeah.
That was the name of it. Okay.
DJI Mavic Mini. Yeah.
Mavic Mini. Right.
Yeah.
So, but and then now it's just the
Mini 2.
The Mini 2, and then the Air 2S. Like, what are you doing?
Which was the Mavic Air, and then the Mavic Air 2, and then
the naming people over at DJI they need to.
I wonder if they're keeping the Mavic name for this drone. And again, you know, we have no information to say that it will be called the Mavic 3. It could come out and be called the Cloud 7. I have no idea, but
the Mavic, the name has a pedigree that you can't. What are they going to call it? Anything else that they would call it wouldn't have the built-in potential buyers as
exactly
called the Mavic. And more than likely, it's going to look like a Mavic because even non-DJI stuff looks like Mavics now, don't they?
It is the form factor now, isn't it? That Mavic foldable form factor is the small drone form factor.
Right.
Now,
I mean, it's like minivans. Can you tell them apart? No, they're all the same shape. They've all gone in the wind tunnel, pretty much come out with the same shape with a different logo on them.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree with you. Excellent. Well, you know, that is everything that we know, and going over the article here from DroneXL. Again, there is a link to that in the description below. One thing I would say is that, you know, wait for the FCC filings before you get excited about this. Personally, I can't see it happening this year. This obviously, you know, I know the DroneXL article talks about it potentially coming in November time. I think that would be ideal for DJI, but I'm not sure unless something, you know, we see something in FCC filings very, very soon. I'm not sure we're necessarily going to see that. Unless
DJI has been hoarding chips since 2018.
Yeah, exactly.
Manufacturing is going to be not able to keep up with demand. And as a company, that's one of the worst things you can do is create demand and then not be able to fulfill it, because people will, even loyal customers of DJI will be pissed off when they order something and it's late or they can't get it, or, you know what I mean?
Right. That's right. No, I completely agree with you.
Christmas is an ideal time to have things ready. So I think they're going to try to turn that not Phantom 5 stupid phone gimbal into the biggest DJI stocking stuffer.
Oh, it's a $140 selfie stick that you have to. Yeah, it's just the whole thing of this amazing new gimbal and all this electronic. And I know it would be very, very difficult to have a motor to put it up and down, but just that thing that you then have to manually extend it.
Yeah,
just
even if it had a motor, if it had a motor, and you could, you know, because who uses those things? Reporters to get their stuff closer to right. They hit a button. That would be awesome. Kind of cool for a week.
Yes.
You know, and then retract it, put it in your fanny pack.
In your fanny pack.
Your lederhosen and all your other Crocs and your other dorky stuff that is only fashionable for about a month. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, look,
no, indeed. I mean,
just for the record, I love DJI. Recent stinkers is that OM5 and the DJI POS. Okay, we're not going to see a lot of those under the Christmas tree, I don't think.
Otherwise known as the DJI FPV drone, yes.
It's people. All right, I don't want to get on a tangent.
Yeah, no, indeed.
I'm done. I'm going to bite my tongue.
Yeah, no,
I'm done. This is not the time or place.
Yeah, we do love you, DJI, really. And we love your products. You know, pretty much all of the drones that I fly both as a hobbyist and as a commercial pilot, are DJI. So they're, you know, it is something which it's a brand I love and trust. And one thing I know is that the Mavic 3 will fly well. It will do the job it says on the box. And, you know, when you get it out, you can be confident that if the box says you can do 4K 60, it will do 4K 60. So yeah, you have that reliability with it. But as I say, don't necessarily hold off buying a new drone, that type of thing, because you think this drone's going to come out next month or next week or anything else like that, because nobody really knows yet. I mean, I suppose there might be one or two YouTubers that Ken knows personally, that might know if there's one coming out very, very soon, but they're not going to tell us at the moment with their NDAs. To still get out there and enjoy the hobby and buy those drones at the moment.
And for people that think that I have an inside track to DJI stuff, I do not. And I never will. I can tell you that.
He says hiding the Mavic 3, out of just pushing it out of the picture.
It's right here. It's right here. By the way, Sean, that light on your wall there, is that attached to your heart? Is that an EKG?
Yes.
It's not going when I talk, but it's going when you.
It's not good, is it?
I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. But
beep. There you go. Yeah, it's voice track. Do you know one of the reasons why I like it? I think it's so naff. It's cool on this setting because it's like one of the if I'm quiet a second, it's like one of the clap on clap off lights.
Yeah,
I think
let me try to turn it off.
I'm on headphones. It won't. Yeah, it won't happen for you. Unfortunately. So again, thank you everyone for joining us on the live in the live chat. I really appreciate it. Great to see such a good crowd for what is an early morning in the States and a late afternoon here in the UK. If you're watching the replay, leave us a comment to let us know if you're going to be buying this as well. And yes, Ken.
In conclusion, as we just got a super chat, and by we I mean you.
Did we?
Yeah, look at that, Rob.
Oh, Rob. Thank you very much, Rob. It actually came up on yours first. There you go. YouTube, you're just, you need to show the creator first. Thank you, Rob Agnew Drone. Rob, I really appreciate the $20 super chat. Wow, thank you. Hello, and thank you, Sean and Ken. I really appreciate that.
So, just in conclusion, the release date, Mavic 3, you don't know yet.
No.
Okay.
Personally, I wouldn't be surprised to see it next year. I wouldn't be surprised to see it in November. I'm just saying, don't hold out for it personally.
Okay. So we don't know
everything that's going on.
We don't know when it's coming out, what it looks like, how long it's going to fly, how much it's going to cost.
Correct.
All right. This has been a great informative video. Thanks, sir. You're the best.
Hey, I like to be clear rather than leave people misled, rather than think, it's going to be $2,000 and it's got a 1.5-inch sensor and it's this and that. That isn't my style. I like to tell people where the information came from and whether we know it's fact or not, basically.
I think you should, when you title this video for replay, you should title it "The Definite, Absolute, 100% True Facts About the Mavic 3.
Yeah, 100% in brackets as well.
Yeah.